Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Tete Unplugged, the Manav Rachna podcast. Today we are joined by world number one trap shooter, Mr. James Willett. From setting global records to inspiring the next generation of shooters, James has showed us what true dedication to the sport looks like. James, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here at Manav Rachna, where sport is at the heart of all our endeavors.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's great to be able to speak to you guys.
Well, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on what it takes to stay at the top of such a competitive sports. James, what first drew your interest towards the sport of shooting, and how has your passion for the sport evolved over the years?
Yeah, I grew up shooting, so grew up clay target shooting from about 14 years old. We done it for a school sport at my smallest school. We live in regional Australia, so about 3 hours north of Melbourne. So I grew up on a farm as well. So I grew up shooting vermin, grew up with guns. My dad brought me into the sport. Obviously his father brought him into the sport as well. And then sort of it grew from there. So we shot every Wednesday for school sport, and then sort of shot on the weekends, and then progressed into, the sort of state level, national level competitions. I had my first competition overseas in 2014, where I won the Junior World Championships in our American trap discipline. And then I started with the Olympic events with the help of Russell Mark from around 2014, 2015 onwards. And then went to my first Olympics in Rio in 2016, and obviously still competing now, and just got home from Paris. But yeah, it's a difficult sport. It's very competitive. We're competing with many professional shooters from around the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, to stay at the top, it's such a fine line of balancing your own personal life, your training, sort of the work for me as well. I work as a carpenter and a builder through the week, so it's about managing everything and just trying to find a bit of balance, and finding some time, I guess, with the family as well as part of it. And I've been lucky enough to be able to travel with my wife to some events overseas.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so it's been good, and I think just the passion, for the sport, it's something I think about every day, and continuing trying to get better every day, and it's just always evolving, I guess, and just trying to stay, with the way it's always moving.
I think it's your passion only that draws you to do everything at once, manage your family, find time for your sport, work alongside having a full-time job in Australia while practicing, teaching, having a happy family life. I think it's a lot to manage and to balance out, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's difficult, like it's never easy, but I think, just working so hard towards it and such a passion, it all sort of leads to the one thing, and wanting to be competitive and successful as well as, is part of the challenge. But I guess you look back on it at the end, don't you, and you say, well, you've done well to manage everything like that. So
and it was all worth it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's good. So shooting as a competitive sport, is gaining a lot more recognition these years. How can we increase its visibility and attract more younger generation to take up shooting as a sport?
Yeah, that's right. It's a really good sport. It's very inclusive of male, female, different people. The body shapes. It doesn't matter sort of where you're from, your background. People with disabilities as well are able to participate. So I think that part of being very inclusive is a great part of the sport. You can shoot from such a young age. You don't have to be physically strong to do the sport as well. So you can shoot until you're older. So all of these things make shooting really great, and there's no right or wrong. Anyone can be competitive wherever they've come from. So that's a great part about it. And I think somehow just trying to make it more attractive for TV viewing. For all that sort of online viewing, where I guess everyone's on Instagram and Facebook or TikTok as well these days. So
absolutely.
I guess just finding ways to get it more promoted on the online channels so people can watch it and sort of get involved in the shooting.
Absolutely, that's one way of promoting the sport actually, to attract the younger generation, because most of the younger generation these days is online on social media.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, as a world-class shooter that you are, how important is sports science in enhancing your physical skills and the mental resilience during the high-pressure events?
Yeah, I think it's a big part of it. Shooting's a very all-round sport in that sense. Like there's lots of components that contribute to your shooting. So like your balance of your personal life as well. But the sports science has a big role. I think you need to be very, very fit in certain areas, like very balanced, very controlled with the gun, able to obviously put that into your shooting as well. The mental side's a big part. You need to be very calm and relaxed, I guess, under pressure. And the ability just to focus on what's present at the time, not worrying about what's happened in the past or not what's coming in the future during the events. So the mental part of it's huge. And then, you've got to continue to maintain a strong body that can handle shooting in all the weather as well, especially like trap shooting. You're outdoors, so it's often cold or hot. So you've got to be able to adapt to the weather as well.
Yeah.
And be physically fit to get through the day without any sort of fatigue, I guess, from the shooting itself. And so many hours on a plane, a bit like us too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, sports science then comes really handy, and it's an important part of any athlete's life, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. And hydration, I guess, in our sport's huge as well. Like you're relying on your eyes so much as well. So the brain and the eyes, you need all that to work, very, very good together while you're performing.
Absolutely, indeed. So you've competed at the highest levels, including the Olympics. What role do you think organizations like ISSF play in promoting global collaborations and best practices in shooting?
Yeah, it's a big part as well. Like, the ISSF, I guess, runs all of the international competitions we go to in the lead up to the Olympics. So it's all intertwined, I guess, isn't it? Like obviously going through all of the events and all of the different countries coming together to compete at the events.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a massive part of it.
Yeah. And how excited are you for the upcoming ISSF World Cup that begins 13th October?
Yeah, really excited. It's always great to come to the World Cup finals and qualify for them. They're such a prestigious event, invite only from the ISSF. So they're always hard to qualify for, and it's a bit like the Olympics. It's a small field, but the quality of shooters is very high. So you need to perform and shoot scores like you would at a World Cup as well.
Absolutely.
It's actually my second World Cup final in India. So really looking forward to it. It's a great range, and obviously this time of year is nice weather as well. It's not coming out of the winter in Australia. It's nice.
Plus it's a matter of real pride for India having the highest number of team members of the shooting playing in the ISSF World Cup this year.
Yeah.
All right. So James, there's another question that I have for you that's going to be a little soft one. What advice would you give aspiring shooters here at Manav Rachna who aim to reach the global stage?
Yeah, it's all about persistence and dedication, and I guess not giving up. I guess a lot of the time you have a lot of ups and downs in sport.
Indeed,
as well as many other things in life, but just continuing and always looking to improve, I guess, and just continuing with the sport. It's a difficult sport, and it's very rewarding when you finally get there and it pays off. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I have seen sportsmen here, studying full time, managing the sport, playing competitions, winning medals for the country, taking country to the international levels, and it really inspires me, and I believe everybody around here. And that is one thing that I, appreciate in a sportsman, because they really know how to do it well, how to do it all together. That's one good thing about the sportsman that we all should learn, actually. Yeah,
that's right. It's, you've got to balance a lot of things, and I guess very professional as well with your time management and all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely.
So
that's the key.
The aspects of the sport itself teach you a lot of things, but how you sort of manage being the athlete, I guess, in all of it sort of, it builds a lot of things in your general life as well.
Absolutely. So James, you've shared incredible insights with us so far, and but now we're going to shift gears into a rapid fire round. These are quick yet cut right to the core of what it takes to be a world-class athlete like you. Let's see what drives the champion mindset. Are we set?
Yep.
Yes. So what is the most critical mindset shift you've had to make to become the world's number one?
Yeah, I think surrounding yourself with really good people is a big part, positive people, and just being able to focus on the areas that, help you perform better and just help you be better on the range and off the range every day. I think that's a very big part of it.
Indeed, that is. How do you see technology shaping the future of shooting sports?
Yeah, it'll be a big part moving forward, a lot of the training tools, I guess, will be used online, or a lot of technical advancements in training aids and that sort of stuff will probably help shooters get better in the long run. And whether the shooting itself may move into something, more, technology based, I think, maybe down the track.
Absolutely. In one word, how would you describe the role of focus in your success?
Crucial, I think. It's, you can't hit targets without being focused, in that present moment.
Absolutely. What's one innovation in sports science you believe has the greatest impact on an athlete's performance?
Yeah, I think everything involved in hydration, and then probably the musculoskeletal, the muscles and the sort of the body development, I think has a big part in it as well. And just really reducing the fatigue and increasing the strength in the right areas for shooting has been a big part of it.
Yeah, that's wonderful. If you could change one thing to make shooting sport more globally recognized, what would that be?
Yeah, I think probably being televised, on a bigger stage like some of the other sports. Maybe some bigger sponsors or something, that might be able to come in to help the sport. But yeah, it's just one of those things that I guess has to develop and sort of improve over time.
Yeah, and with the younger generation picking up the sport, so fondly, I think that is set to happen.
I think so. Yeah.
So James, your journey, your insights today have been truly inspiring. Thank you for joining us for this conversation, and we really look forward to seeing your continued impact on the sport and its future.
Thanks very much.
Yeah. To all the viewers, hope you enjoyed this conversation. Stay tuned with us for many more inspiring, aspirational success stories upcoming during the next week.